Welcome to the Alchemistic Laboratory. In this tutorial, we're going to make a really cool model. It's the shield of the Slayer from the Doom franchise. I find this quite an interesting tutorial to do. And later in Blender, your model should look something like this. And if you like this content, please like, share, and subscribe. This helps the channel a lot. So let's get started with the tutorial. Okay, first things first. We delete the cube. I go to the front view. And I drag and drop the picture from the front. And then I press Ctrl 1 to go to the back view. Then I drag the picture from the back view. And we can also probably go to the right view. And in this case, we also have the side view. Okay, I'm going to grab all of them, scale them. Then the side picture I move to the side. Then the front picture I move to the back. And the back picture, I move just to the front. With M, I'm going to press front, 0.2, and front only. And now I just need to somehow center them. Now the pictures are all centered, and I think now we can start drawing. So the first thing I need to do, I'm going to draw a circle, and from there I can imprint the shape of the shield. So I'm going to grab sphere. Then it doesn't matter actually the size. You can just draw something like this, for example. And I'm going to draw the circle, and I will draw it just this size. Going to press Shift-I to imprint. And then I move the shield a bit to the back to see if we have this curvature. In this case, I was very lucky that I got it correct. So we can hide this circle, and I select this face. And this face, I'm going to basically extrude it. So I'm going to press E to extrude, and I just need to make a new body. So let's say I want some thickness similar to this one. So let's do something like this. This sphere probably I could hide. And I'm going to turn off these buttons so that they are not visible whenever I'm needing to unhide the objects. So now I have this basic shape of the shield. So what I need to do is I need to start bringing all this information. So in this case, I can grab this edge and press O to offset it. So the first one I will make here because I see there is a division. Then another one here. Another one here. Another one here. And in this area, I see that the shield is going down. So probably there I am going to need another one. Let's make it like this. And this is important. If you see this shield, there is an area which goes up and connects to this part of the shield, while this one is going down. So how do we pass this kind of information to here? So one way to do it would be to select another offset and just put a line where this thing should start to come from here and go up to here. So I will explain it much more carefully as how we do it. But for now, I will keep these lines. I think that's enough information. And now the first thing to do, I would probably cut the shield. So I only work with some small part because later I see that I can just mirror it or arrange it. So let's do that. I'm going to create a line from here to the center. And here, I guess I will do just half of it. So somewhere here. For this, I need to be precise. So let's say so this is 90 degrees. This would be 45 degrees. So I need the half. So this would be 22.5. And then I cut this part. So I have this area of the shield. The rest, I guess I can delete. And I keep only this piece. I guess I will start to make this area. This is the most interesting part of the shield. So I will draw a line from here to here to here. Something like this. And because I know that it's going down, I will also duplicate it. And I just put it somewhere here. I think here is enough. Now I grab this point and I just move it somewhere here. that it's a bit more interesting shape. This is in my, you can do whatever kind of shape you want at home, but I just find this one to be a bit more interesting. Okay, so now what we can do is we can just grab this face and this face because these two faces are going up. So I'm going to offset them, something like this. Okay, now we have these faces. So now I'm going to draw this chamfer. So for this, I'm going to grab, let's say, this line. And I just make something like this. So now I have this information here, which now my shield will come from this part and connect to this line. Okay, so we can grab, for example, these lines, imprint them. So now we have this information. So from this line, I will connect to this line. So this means that we can delete these faces. So I'm going to delete this one and this one. And I'm going to also delete these ones so that whenever I'm going to mirror and arrange them, it's much more easy to do. So I have this part. And now what I need to do is I'm going to grab this edge and this edge and press L to loft, and I'm going to make it in G2. So now this face that we just created is not reaching this line that we draw before. So for this, we just need to extend the sheet. So we just draw something like this, grab again the line that we had before, and just cut it with C, and we can delete this part. Now we have something like this. And now we just need to connect these lines to these lines here. For this, I'm going to create, let's say, I'm going to draw a line from here to here. So this is the direction it's going to go down. And I'm going to imprint it, Shift-I, to this object. So now I can delete this face here. I delete it, I hide the blue line. And this face here, we can also delete, Shift-X. So I have this piece. Okay, so now what we need to do is just connect. Let's say connect here to here. L. I make it in G0. And here we press Shift click and make it in G1. Can also be in G2. So I keep it in G2. And I just need to join it with J to the other objects. Now it's one single sheet. I grab these lines, L to loft, and everything needs to be in G0. And again, I need to join the pieces. And here we can press Alt or Option, clicking this to select all these lines. And I just patch it, patch hole in G0. So now we have this part. So if I hide these edges, you see that the shield is actually having a very smooth transition. And this is exactly what we need. So I'm going to now round these parts because I don't really like how it looks now, because we need to smooth these ones as well. So for this, I'm going to press F and delete the redundant topology. So now nothing is disturbing us. I'm going to grab this edge, I'm going to make them a fillet, like a smooth curvature. And this one I would say as well, something like this. From here, what we can do is we can smooth these lines. So for example, I'm going to do, there are different options how to make this smoother. But one way that we could do it is we can grab all these lines with Alt. And I'm just going to make it the easy way, which works in this case. So I'm just going to fill it slightly like this. Now it's not going to be so perfect, but this doesn't matter. We can fix it later with more time. And I'm going to do the same here on this line. So I'm going to grab a little bit of a fillet and accept. So now it looks much better. And you see how it's making this transition from the shield, which I like. So now what else can we do? We can we can add this information. So for this, I'm going to press Shift A to make a line. Press F and click and write slot. We just make something like this. It seems that everything is arranged. So I'm going to create here a radial array. Click here on the center. I have a 360 degrees. So I'm going to make it just like this to know somehow it fits everything. That's good. So now that we have all this circle made, I need to think what to do next. So in this case, if I mirror this object, these little circles, these little slots are going to be mirrored in an opposite direction. So I'm going to deselect everything else except these 5 pieces and delete everything else. Because now I think that I can just mirror it and imprint all these pieces, but first I'm going to make this circle. So I'm going to press Shift C to create a circle. I draw something like this. Shift I to imprint it. And I'm going to select this face. And here you can choose if you want it up or down. This you need to decide. In this case, I like that it's out. And I just round with a fillet this part. Now delete this circle. And I guess I can now mirror this part. So Option X looks good, and J to join. And the shield is actually taking shape. So now we can grab these parts, Shift I to imprint, and I can grab these faces, push them inside, and we can make some chamfers, something like this. Now this one we can also delete because it's going to be hidden. So this you need to decide. So I'm going to grab these ones and I make a little fillet. Now we can delete all these slots. We don't need them anymore. We have this part of the shield. And I guess now we can start creating this part here. There are different ways to do it. I guess I will just grab a line and draw something like this. Going to mirror it. I'm going to imprint this to this object. In this case, it didn't imprint it where I wanted. And that's because these lines are too behind. I'm going to put them more in front. Shift I to imprint. And now it's there. So here we can, again, do something. For example, this object is more outside from here and here not so much. Push the face or extrude it. I'm going to extrude it and create a new body. So now that we have this body, I'm going to grab this one and we can make something like this. In here is rounded, but I don't know. I'm not so sure if I like it, if it's rounded. But you can decide. For this tutorial, I guess I just leave it like this. And now we need to do another rounded part here. And some chamfer. I like it this way, so I will leave it. Now we can make this part. And remember, this is just an example. At home, you can do the details that you like or that you consider more important to do. This I'm going to make 2 pieces, just that it's much more easy to later edit. So I'm going to do this line and this line. I'm going to join it. Maybe here I'm going to make a little fillet like this kind of shape. And I'm going to mirror it. And these lines, I'm going to bring it to the front. And I'm going to create an object from this part. Something like this. Going to hide these lines. So what can we do? If you see this reference image, the object follows the curvature of the shield. So how do we do that? We can either cut the part like this, or we can just grab a quicker tool that we have in Plasticity. So we grab this face, and let's say that I want this curvature. So I'm going to press F and match face. And we select, let's say, this face here. So now our curvature is basically the same. And we just move it a bit in the back so that this is a bit further from this face. And we do exactly the same again. Going to press 3 F to match face, and we select the same face. Or you can also press F and match face this other face. So this is up to you. You need to decide what kind of curvature you want. Let's say for the moment I leave it like this. Okay, and basically we need to do the same for this piece, although we could extend it from this one. So there are different options. I will just make a new piece, something like this, mirror it, and I'm going to make the same process again. So grab this face, F, match face, this one. We move it a bit in the back and repeat the process with this face. F, match face, this face. Okay, and we just push it a bit outside. So now we just need to give the shape of this part. So let's say that I grab all this line and make something like this. I need to be a bit fast so that this tutorial is not so long. And these lines, I'm going to just round them like this. And something like this. Okay, what else can we do? We can make this hole. So I grab this part and I make probably another line like a slot. F slot. So now that we have the slot, I'm going to Shift I to imprint it here. And I'm going to lower this face. And I will also imprint it on this one. Here I can make just a simple transition. Okay, it's not so bad. Maybe here I can make another slot. I'm going to imprint it. Or in this face, I'm going to push it outside. Something like this. I'm really just inventing the information that I see. I really don't know exactly how it needs to look, but this is just for orientation, so you can do at home the shape that you want. Going to also soften these ones. And then we have our piece. We can also join these parts. So this was a single piece. And now we can just make this cylinder here. But be careful because not all the pieces are the same. So it's one, and then comes again. So for this, I guess I will radial array it, click in the center, and with the Shift middle mouse drag it until I have the exact numbers I need. So in this case is 8 pieces. I accept. And I'm going to make a line here to cut this part. We can delete this one, and then here we can just later create this kind of button. So I will delete these pieces because I need to radial array them afterwards. Okay, now we have this part. And actually this one needs to be also here in a different shape. So we can radial array it. And we select it in this way, but we just need one piece. So delete the rest. And this one, you can choose at home what kind of detail you want. So I'm going to just do something very quick. I will make a circle. Move it a bit in front. Shift I to imprint it. This circle we don't need. And we can press O. This face, we can extrude it as a new body. And grab these ones and do something like this. Then we can grab this face, extrude it, something like this. We can, I guess by this moment, we need to make this cylinder. So Shift Z to make cylinder, click here, V to make it horizontal, take out this one and just extrude this face down. This circle, I guess I will hide it. This we just need to put it here, but this cylinder somehow is on an angle. So I'm going to make it like this face a bit more out, and this one more inside. And then I can just grab this object and this object Q and Q join. We can grab this one and just make it a very simple fillet. This one, I guess this is okay. Press this one inside. Unhide all, and I think it's okay. This one we just hide. Okay, what else can we do? I think we are ready to revolve around everything. There is nothing else we need to do at the moment now. Okay, so we can revolve these ones. So I'm going to radial array it on the center. I need to be sure that the radial array is illuminating these lines, because otherwise it's going to be skew. Click, and I just need to shift and drag to have 4 objects, and the same we do for this and this. Radial array, center, and accept. Okay, this looks good. Now is the moment of truth. We need to revolve this shield. So I'm going to radial array it. Now, this is important. You see that it's overlapping here. This is exactly what I don't want. Whenever I need to radial array it, I need to be sure that it goes really, really on the center. That's why it needs to illuminate all these edges. Now with shift and drag, I make this part. Everything seems to match perfect. J to join all of these pieces. Now it's a single piece. Now, there are too many lines here that disturb me. I could probably select these faces, Shift X to delete, and I can click Alt, and I just patch it. G0 seems to work, but just in case, I will leave it in G1. So now you see that my shield is much more clean, and these faces we also need to clean. If it doesn't work for you, don't worry. This is just aesthetic. It's only because it disturbs me to see so many lines. I'm going to delete these lines from the back. Select this with Alt. Again, patch it in G1 is not working, G2. In this case, it's not working how I want or how I expected. So I'm going to just grab half of it, Shift X, then patch it like this. In G0 seems okay. So I'm going to accept. We delete as well these faces and patch it. So now the shield is much more clean. This area I don't think I need. I will hide it. Okay, so, and these lines as well, hide. Okay, so what else can we do? I guess it's time to make these blades. So I'm going to grab a control point curve. And again, control point curve here. I make the line a bit longer. And control point curve here as well. And I just connect these lines. Now this, I'm going to extrude it. You can choose what thickness you want, but let's say I want it like this. I can delete these lines. And I can grab this face, Control 2, and I can just make something like this. Now I see that these blades are being held by this kind of pyramid. So I'm going to draw this shape. Again. Something like this. Again, the faces, Control 2. These blue lines I can delete. And we just center this part. I'm going to delete the redundant topology. Okay. This is also another option to clean the object. I forgot about it. Now this face here is extremely fat. So I'm going to make it much thinner. Something like this. Okay. I'm going to speed this up a bit. So I need to make some circle again. Print it. And I'm going to mirror it. Q and Q join. Great. I have this part and I'm going to radial array it in the center. I need to be sure that the number of pieces are matching. Excellent. And now the shield is almost finished. I will draw this part just for the sake of the tutorial. I'm going to make with a control point curve this kind of shape. very quickly. Okay, I grab all these lines, move them in front, Shift I to imprint. Okay, these ones underneath, I hide them. This one we can just grab and make a little thicken. So F thicken, very, very small, because I will put the material there probably. And it's much easier than painting it by hand. Okay, so we have our shield. In this case, I'm going to grab this line from the outer part. I'm going to press O. Now this one, and press O. Now that I made this part, I'm going to grab this line and this line. I'm going to press F, thicken. And this one, I'm going to chamfer them. So this is the area that is turning around. Okay, so now we finished this part. Now is the backside. So now I need to make it fast. So I'm just going to make some details very quick. For example, I'm going to make a circle here, then a line around here. Going to mirror it, going to imprint these lines here. Okay. These ones we can delete. I grab these faces and press F thicken or extrude if you want as a new body. Okay, so now we have this part, but I don't like it that is in this curvature. Probably will give us some troubles later. So I'm going to isolate it. And now we can grab these faces, Ctrl 2, Shift D to make a line like this. And this line, let's see if we can scale it. Yes, we can scale it. So we can just make scale 0 in the Y. This is better. I'm going to grab these faces, delete them, and I'm going to loft it in G0, join it, and patch it. These curves, I really don't think I need them anymore, so I'm going to delete them. Okay, and probably this object, I'm going to extrude it and cut it. Delete it. I think it's better if I leave it like this, flat. Now I just need to continue the details. Now this is something important that you need to consider when you make always a model. You can make very quickly 80% of the model, but the missing 20% is actually the one that takes the longest to make. Like in this case, we have all these details in the back that require a lot of attention, and they are not per se very complicated to do, but they are just very time consuming. Ah, this is a lot of time. So I'm going to really speed this thing up because the tutorial is getting too long otherwise. Okay, let's say that let's say now that this part is finished, you can later add at home other kind of details, like for example, this kind of thing. While doing these things, you really need to have some patience. But I think now the tutorial is getting too long. So I'm going to stop giving the details here because I think the shield actually, the most important part of the shield was making the front side to learn how to connect this area to this area and make it look very smooth like we have it here. So I will bring this to Blender and give some materials. So this is our shield. It looks very, very nice. I'm very happy with the result. So what I need to do now is give some materials. This is a quick test with the materials. We can see that the object looks quite cool. I like it a lot. I think the model is finally finished. And the exercise for me is a very interesting one to do and to follow. And finally, we can say ex luto ad auram. Until next time.